So today is the 11th of December 2023, and we don't have any Christmas decorations up here yet in the office, so we'll have to sort that out today. Our front window is a bit bare as a consequence. It's never going to look like Arnott's, but we need to do something, and we do something every year as a matter of course, so we do have the decorations up there somewhere, and I think Josephine generally looks after them, so she's back in action today. She's been out there on holidays for a week, so we'll have to see if she can look after it today. What sort of a day have I got today? I have 4 consultations, or 3 consultations, and 4 consultations. 3 with new individuals, new persons, and 1 with an existing client. And 2 of them are to do with unfair dismissal, and 1 is to do with a commercial lease. So I'll have to have a look at those, the emails that I receive in advance. When I'm doing the consultations, I get an email in advance always from the person, just setting out in brief the issue or problem that they want to discuss. So it just gives me an idea of what we were going to discuss, and it gives me an idea as well as to whether I can advise them or not. I may not be able to help them, but I will be able to advise them, and probably advising them is help, because obviously if you get advice that you actually don't have a case, or you have a case that's absolutely bound to fail, well then, in my view, that's actually good money or good advice. It's time well spent, it's money well spent, because obviously you're going to save a lot of money and a lot of hurt and a lot of disappointment down the line, perhaps, pursuing a case that is not going to succeed. That's in relation to new people, and obviously if they, for example, have an issue with road traffic or criminal law, I don't do those areas of law, so again that'll flag up to me immediately. Look, I can't help you, I'll give you the money back, we'll cancel it, and I'll sell the slot to somebody else basically. So that's what's on the agenda there today. Full complement back in work today. Kira's back hopefully after her unfortunate accident during the week, and Josephine will be back after holidays. So that is the crack today, the 11th of December. Saw on Twitter there this morning there was a vigil by the Burke family, or some sort of a vigil or some sort of a protest by the Burke family outside the Wilson's Hospital School in Rathfarnham, or in Multifarnham rather, last night. I didn't look into it too much, but there was a number of Burkes standing there with placards telling the world at large how long Enoch Burke has been imprisoned, and claiming that he was imprisoned for his religious beliefs. So they are obviously concerned that he could well spend another month or so in prison in Mountjoy, and obviously he could well be there for Christmas. So I'd say that's at the forefront of their minds. There's obviously an easy way for him to get out of prison. He could get out of prison today or tomorrow if he wanted to, but it's a matter for himself as to whether he's going to purge his contempt or not. But he was jailed for basically refusing to stay away from the school, and now I saw his mother anyway, and I think his father, and I saw somebody else from the family holding placards on Twitter there. They were posting it on Twitter themselves, on the official Enoch Burke official account there on Twitter. So that could get messy as well, because clearly the question of what the school will do next, if this was to continue, is something that might make the matter cause further concern, and basically perhaps the school might go to the High Court looking for an injunction to prevent other Burke members of the family from protesting at the school. I don't know, maybe they were outside the school and maybe there was no issue, etc., in terms of trespass or anything of that nature. I'm not saying that there was, but obviously the family are probably concerned about Enoch Burke spending Christmas in jail. The other thing I saw there was Donald Trump pulling out of the intended and scheduled testimony that he was going to give in evidence today in the New York civil fraud trial. He was going to give evidence today in the civil fraud trial, but obviously Donald Trump is a man who is clearly incapable of controlling his mouth, and who is clearly incapable of engaging a brain, if he has one. I don't think he has one, but any bit of common sense or cop on that he has, surely he has the ability to actually listen to the advice that he gets from his legal advisors. Anyway, he has actually in this instance decided to listen to his legal advisors, and he has pulled out of the scheduled appearance at the New York civil fraud trial. So that is a bit of entertainment that I will certainly miss, and I was looking forward to it, because there's nothing like watching a man digging a hole and continuing to dig vigorously and with some degree of enthusiasm. This fucking place is supposed to open at 8 o'clock. I want to get me milk, and it's 3 minutes past 8 now and they're not open. It's bad form. Bad form. It's lunchtime now. I've just had my lunch there, but I had a very nice call there just before lunch from a gentleman who follows me on social media and is very appreciative of what I put out on social media, especially on Facebook, and he follows me on Facebook. And he is actually a butcher, and he has, apparently every year he tells me that he nominates somebody as his person of the year or whatever, and he gives them a gift of a hamper of meat. So that is very much appreciated. I didn't really want it, and I asked him to consider giving it to charity, but he insisted on giving it to me because he says the material I put out on social media, especially on Facebook, is of real value, and he clearly values it. So that's very, very kind. In addition to that, last week then I got this. If you see that there, it's actually a novena of masses, and it says Christmas novena of masses. It says here, from someone whose life you touch with your wise advice on social media. Thank you. So that's an anonymous card. Again, it's very much appreciated. Very, very kind of that person to go to the trouble of getting a Christmas novena of masses organised and writing the card and sending it, posting it to me. I very much appreciate that. It just goes to show you that there are people out there whose lives you can touch with some generosity and by putting your best foot forward, I suppose. Clearly, it's nice from time to time to get affirmation and get sort of commendation and approval from people for the work that you do. Clearly, there's plenty of people who are prepared to criticise, and that's fair enough. I accept that as well, and when you enlist, you may soldier. I'm perfectly happy and prepared to take the criticism too, if the criticism is justified. If it's not justified, I don't really care. I don't pay much heed, to be quite frank. But I do put out a lot of content, and clearly these people are sufficiently moved, sufficiently touched, sufficiently influenced to go to the trouble of asking me to accept or sending stuff to me in recognition, which is great. I really appreciate it, and I wish both of them, that gentleman with the butchers and the person who sent the novena of masses, Christmas masses, I wish them the very best at Christmas, and I wish everybody the best at Christmas. Pretty busy day after. It's 4:10 now, just heading home. The pressure's on now just in relation to property sales, property purchases and sales, because people are very anxious to get sorted out before Christmas. And unfortunately, things get very messy this time of the year because the banks close down early enough in terms of releasing loan drawdowns and so on. So that really has people a bit up in a heap, and has solicitors up in a bloody heap as well, quite frankly, in relation to completing transactions. Obviously you do your best not to disappoint people, and you do your best, but sometimes there's certain things that are completely and totally beyond your control, and what's going on in other solicitors' offices, whether they have the money drawn down to complete or not, is completely out of our control. So all we can do is control what we can control. So pressure's on. People, as I say, are getting a bit stressed, a bit frazzled, and things are a bit tense. The banks are supposed to close off. I think the funds release on the 15th, and today I think is the 10th or the 11th. It's Monday, I think it's the 11th. Maybe it's the 10th. But bottom line is, if funds are switched off by the bank, well, obviously property that we're selling to people, to borrowers, are not going to be able to complete, and obviously properties that we're buying won't complete either because we need the funds from the sales. So it can be a bit of a fraught time. Looking forward to the Christmas break. Another couple of weeks ago we have our Christmas party, our office Christmas party at the end of the week, so looking forward to that actually as well. It'll be a bit of crack. This year we're going to the Hamlet in Johnstown Bridge. We normally go to Johnstown House Hotel in Johnstown Bridge, or between Enfield and Johnstown, and it's very, very nice. But this year, we've just for a change, we're going for some sort of a party night, so we'll see that how that goes, To carry out an inspection now of the Christmas tree. Herself was busy there in the afternoon getting the Christmas tree sorted out. Looks pretty well now, I think. I don't need to go in that close though. Yeah, it looks pretty well. We're going to have a couple then outside as well. A couple of trees outside with the lights up on it. But unfortunately, one of the trees that we want to do is too big and it's too dark at the moment to take care of it. So we have the little butt over here. This is the tree that I cut down earlier this year with the chainsaw that I bought in Mullingar. And then we have a few lights on this one. And this tree here then we have to do at the weekend, but I'll get up on the ladder and that'll look well now when we get the lights up on that. But we need a ladder and we need to be concerned about health and safety. I have enough people giving out to me about health and safety after my chainsaw video. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about in relation to my chainsaw video, have a look on my YouTube channel. I think the video is called I Bought a Chainsaw or something, but I cut down a couple of trees. People were giving out hell to me.